In this video, we will continue to explore the RETScreen Portfolio Dashboard for feasibility analysis. We start with several facilities already in our portfolio. On the Dashboard worksheet in RETScreen, you start by clicking on the Feasibility button, and this dialog appears, which allows you to customize the type of portfolio analysis for feasibility studies you will create. At the top, there's the name of our analysis, and here you can select which types of facilities you want to include. In this case, we want to include only real property. This next drop-down displays all of the various groups that have been created on the portfolio worksheet. Let's do it on all facilities in our Natural Resources Canada portfolio. Next, the data drop-down allows you to choose what we want to display in our graph. In our files, we can look at energy metrics like fuel consumption, cost, or GHG emissions. We can look at the total cost, or at various financial viability indicators such as net present value, internal rate of return, annual life cycle savings, and more. Let's look at the GHG emissions. Next, I select the energy unit. Let's select gigajoules. If I wanted to do an energy intensity analysis, I would include a size unit to calculate energy on a per unit basis, but I'm going to leave it as is to look at total values. Lastly, RETScreen asks if I want to include a row in the table that sums the total. I do, and so check this box. I click OK, and RETScreen creates a graph that shows the GHG emissions for each of our facilities. You'll see that for each facility in my portfolio, the base case and the proposed case are shown in the first two bars, along with the difference measured as the savings. When you hover over any of the bars on the graph, you'll see the savings expressed both as the net amount and as a percentage. The table below the graph includes the data used in the graph, plus a lot more, including all of the items we saw in the dialog. See, here is fuel consumption for base and proposed case, the same for fuel costs, the emissions, and many financial viability indicators. And notice that since we asked for the total in the dialog, the last row shows the totals. This graph shows the total GHG emissions for the base and proposed case in each of the facilities in our portfolio. Remember that our portfolio includes facilities from different provinces and regions, each with different emissions from electricity. And each of these facilities consumes energy differently. Some consume more electricity, some have natural gas or heating oil, or may be connected to a district energy network. The RETScreen portfolio includes all of these differences, and this graph is aggregating all of that data into a convenient summary. This is also true for fuel costs, escalation rates, and all the other parameters that make each facility unique. The RETScreen portfolio analysis gives you a convenient roll-up of all this data. Since our portfolio includes facilities that consume different types of energy and with different emissions associated with electricity consumption, we might be curious about the cost of GHG reduction. So let's create another graph that shows the GHG reduction cost. By clicking on Feasibility again, sticking with our real property like before, this time let's look at GHG reduction cost. Clicking on OK, this time the graph shows the GHG reduction cost in dollars per ton of CO2 for each of the facilities. This shows that there is a difference between the GHG reduction potential and the cost of those reductions. This is information that is sometimes difficult to get or to visualize, but with RETScreen Expert Portfolio Analysis for feasibility, we can use tools like these graphs and tables to help in our decision-making process.